I was listening to LaShawn McCoy and Gabe Rosado talk about the up-and-coming fight between Jaron Ennis and Gabe Rosado. And Gabe Rosado said something that just irked my very last nerve. LaShawn McCoy pissed me off for not responding, but Gabe Rosado said something that just annoyed the crap out of me, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of every other fighter being acknowledged for having some type of blood that makes them a warrior. Gabe Rosado was talking about Xander Zayas having Puerto Rican blood, right? Like that's what makes him a warrior. And LaShawn McCoy just did quiet. That pissed me off. Because every fighter always gets some type of acknowledgement for having some type of warrior blood. Like FBA fighters don't have warrior blood. Like FBA fighters ain't never put the world on their backs and carried it. Like we don't have a history of being warriors. You know, that annoys the crap out of me. It really does. Now, Gabe Rosado, I like him as a commentator. But as a person, he's a piece of ish. Gabe Rosado is the same guy that said that Devin Haney was going to get beaten by Jose Ramirez. He's the same guy that made personal beef with the Haneys. And now he's bigging up Xander Zayas by claiming that Xander Zayas is some type of warrior based on what type of blood he carries through his veins. If as Boots don't have any type of warrior blood flowing through his veins. You know, when I watched Shakur versus William Zepeda, and I remember a round where William Zepeda tried to tee off on Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur responded with his own, shots thrown, basically letting William Zepeda know that he can fight too. You know, just because a fighter is FBA doesn't mean that they don't know how to fight and they're not warriors. Now, FBA fighters are known to be boxers. That's what they're known for. Slick boxers. But the narrative is that because the FBA fighters are slick boxers, they're not warriors. They're just boxers. They can be bullied. They can be out-muscled. They can be outgunned, by a fighter that has the warrior spirit or warrior blood, whatever you want to call it. And that's just not true. So it ticked me off listening to Gabe Rosado and LaShawn McCoy talk about Xander Zayas being this warrior based on the blood that's flowing through his veins. And, Bruce just being a regular fighter that can be easily, beaten because he's not a warrior. I mean, it's annoying. And this was the same narrative of when it came to Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward. These guys were never considered warriors. They were never considered a fighter that's going to dig deep. And we've seen them do it countless times. FBA fighters are warriors. This is a gladiator sport, and we know when it comes to boxing, the FBA or so-called BA fighter has a long, deep-rooted history of dominance. The FBA fighter has been the dominant fighter, and they still are the dominant fighter. And it's quite interesting how that's never acknowledged. The FBA fighter's warrior blood or warrior spirit is never acknowledged, but every other fighter is always being acknowledged for having some type of warrior blood or warrior spirit. Listen, at the end of the day, Boots Ennis should be taken seriously. He should be feared. He should be a fighter that pumps fear in other fighters. And for Xander Zayas, I hope he's not feeding off this narrative. Because if he thinks that by him having this so-called warrior blood, that's going to help him against Boots, I mean, he might as well get used to looking up from the canvas. Because Boots Ennis is not a punk. Boots Ennis is actually a real fighter. He's a threat. Adversity inside of a boxing ring, the FBA fighters are known for digging deep. They're known for finding a second gear or a third gear possibly. So Xander Zayas better not be feeding off this nonsense that's being spilled by Gabe Rosado, because he's going to be in trouble. I pick Boots Ennis to stop Xander Zayas. I just think Boots is the better fighter.